today's episode 24 of British Business, we are talking about hiring slow and firing fast, which is like a little, again, the last few episodes we've been deep diving into niche topics and looking at little specific segments and trying to be a bit more, rather than kind of like skimming across the surface, a bit more deep dive. So
yeah, I like that.
This is all about hiring and firing people, which is a bit of a, the latter is not a very nice topic, actually. I don't necessarily like the brutal scenario of having to let someone go. It's not nice. It's not a nice thing to do.
No.
But unfortunately, kindness and niceness doesn't pay the bills.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, at the end of the day, HMRC don't care if you're a nice guy.
No. But ultimately, no.
Rachel's still's going to take her cut.
Yeah.
You don't get a discount for being nice. It's not like, oh yeah, no, you don't. Do you know what? The VAT threshold 20%. That's only for normal business owners. Because you've been a nice business owner, we're only going to charge you 15%.
Yeah, you can have it at 15 now. You're like, oh, thank you very much.
Do you know, it's good that you're keeping staff that are lazy and inconsistent. We'll give you a discount on your business rates.
Yeah. Does not happen, does it?
Nope.
They do not care. Yeah.
So you've got to be all over it.
Very, very true.
Slurp of the old coffee.
Get it down,
There we are.
Caffeinated again.
That's it. Highly caffeinated. So, yeah, today's episode should be pretty good. I think episode 24 should be a good one. Have you ever kept someone on longer than you should have, and you'd known about it, but you've picked the easy option of keeping them in the business?
Yeah, 100%. 100%. Probably on a few occasions as well, where we knew that person was not right in the role or even in the business, because the easy option was non-confrontational, let time pass and that person will eventually leave. We've had that happen a couple of times, if I'm honest.
I suspect that's quite normal.
Yeah, in many places.
People listening, like small teams, you're a business owner, the anxiety of having to have that confrontational conversation is big. I remember thinking about when you still get it. I still get that. It's not a nice thing, and it's hard. But I think business owners that are okay and comfortable doing it, you have to have gone through some like severe trauma, or like you have to have done it quite a few times.
Yeah.
So you have to have, like, we've had ups and downs in our business. We've done really well, and then we've almost lost everything. And I think coming close to losing everything, you become like almost like, got to protect the business.
Yeah.
You become more ruthless with your battle wounds, and knowing that you've got to pay HMRC hundreds of thousands of pounds.
Yeah. Regardless of how nice you are, and how you deal with the awkward situations of staff, everything needs paying.
It's hard, and the personal impact it has on people and all the rest of it. But ultimately, I think as long as you give people opportunity, that's the key.
Yeah. Have you yourself had an instance
100%
where you've just ticked over 100%. And thought it's just not worth the fight?
Yeah, 100%. And you want to give people the chance to and you're like, oh well, we'd have to hire someone else, and it's like that, going back to that thing of what was it we were talking about a couple of episodes ago, where you convince the implementation of ideas.
Yeah.
You because it's a big amount of work to implement something new, you give yourself a list of reasons of why you shouldn't do it.
Mm-hmm.
Same with letting someone go.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, well, we won't do it because of this, and this. Or it's all the idea is to hire someone. You're like, well, we don't want to take the risk. We'll just sit tight.
Yeah.
It'll be all right.
Yeah.
It's just busy at the moment. We'll hold off hiring.
Yeah. Have you been inside my business or something? How do you know? Yeah.
Well, I wasn't looking at you specifically for that, but I mean, it's the same in mine.
It's the same, yeah. It'll run through many businesses.
Every business is like that. I mean, I remember speaking to another guy I know, and like, he was really busy. He's doing stuff all the time in the business, like, and he's at a different scale, but it's like, just bring someone in on minimum wage.
Yeah. And
I can see it now. I can see the solution, but when you're in the moment, it's so hard.
Yeah.
It's really difficult.
Yeah.
So, a couple of episodes we were thinking of like, well, I don't know whether he's globally famous, but I asked you, like, who else is there? There's Richard Branson, there's There's X. There's what? There's what's the guy? What's the Hoover guy called?
James Dyson.
James Dyson.
Yeah.
Richard Branson, James Dyson.
Ben Francis,
Ben Francis. Who else is globally significant British entrepreneur? I've got Alan Sugar as the business fact of the week, but is he global?
I don't know if he's global. He had Amstrad, didn't he, which was computers.
I think that definitely wasn't global.
No, his mainstay is property now, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, so there's Lord Sugar. We've got a fact about him, but it's interesting that how we don't have globally famous entrepreneurial people, but the US does.
Yeah. Well, yeah, look at that, like Elon Musk and co. And
there was a podcast, I can't remember the name of the podcast, but it was about finance, and I think it's Cambro. Have you heard of Cambros? No. So it's a guy, he's on LinkedIn. I was chatting to him on Instagram, actually. He's got a few good people on his podcast. He's got some good listeners and good views, like a few thousand views and what have you. We had this finance guy on, and I'm sure he was saying how the US, it might have been a reel of somewhere else, but it was similar. And he was saying how in the US, the big difference between entrepreneurial opportunity here in the UK versus the US is like the US kind of venture capital or finance opportunity to finance ideas. Mm-hmm. They're willing to, like, banks are willing to lend on ideas.
Bloody hell, yeah.
So
different than here, isn't it?
You have a concept and you want to pitch a new startup. Mm-hmm. You'll either go venture capitalist. It's just it's way easier to raise capital.
Yeah.
So you're in a situation where you can raise the capital a lot easier and you can drive things forward, and you're not having to personal guarantee everything.
Yeah.
So I wonder if the reason why we don't have as many globally successful entrepreneurs is because it's so fucking hard in the
UK. Yeah.
Because you've got to personal guarantee everything. Like, the financial institutions are being held to account by the government more. I mean, I'm sure we'll have to get some kind of someone that actually knows what he's talking about to comment on that. But
get them in the seat.
It seems like, to me, that it's easier in the US.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's also celebrated more in the US.
Bigger market as well.
Yeah, huge. I mean, what is it? Is it 10x, 8x, 10x?
Well, you've just got the population. You think the captive audience that you can attract.
Yeah.
It's several 100 million people living in the US.
Yeah,
so if you're a business, you've got a bigger market, easily accessible, because they're so interwoven with freight. Like, they've got freight trains running from one side to the other at night, so you can get mail and parcels across the country by air or freight train. It's better.
Yeah,
it's bigger market. You can do it. It's bigger and better. I mean, there's pros and cons to the US, obviously, and I'm very passionate about the UK, but it's like we could have that here if things were a little bit easier for entrepreneurs, if finance was readily available. I mean, if you think about the number of businesses that are struggling with cash flow, if lending was a bit more affordable for businesses, if you could lend into a small business 100 grand or something like that, or 200 grand, and not have the risk, and go, right, I'm going to give it a go, and the interest rates weren't so horrendous, you'd be able to finance ideas.
Yeah, more businesses would get started, wouldn't they?
More businesses would get started, and more businesses would scale quickly.
Yeah,
there almost needs to be like a British business. Well, I'm pretty sure there is a British business bank, but it's just a fucking nightmare.
Yeah.
And it's only accessible to, like, new, very small ideas, and you've got to jump through all these hoops. What about small businesses that have been doing it a little bit, and you're like, let's chuck Tom a few hundred grand.
Give me a few $100,000 and let's see.
You're not going to buy a boat, are you? You're going to buy more robes.
Employ more people. Yeah, that's the way it will go, isn't it, though? Ultimately.
Yeah, exactly. That's it. Like, we need to get better at that in this country, in my opinion. Definitely. We're not good enough at creating talented entrepreneurs, and they get created. You aren't born a great entrepreneur.
Yeah.
Like, circumstances and conditions. And if you think about, like, Alan Sugar and these, like, Amstrad versus, say, I don't know, Apple or Microsoft or these big tech companies in the US, well, he's got no chance.
Yeah.
I mean, it is Alan Sugar. He's not as good as the rest of them. Maybe not. I don't know. He's a bit Marmite, Alan Sugar, isn't he?
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah, I'm not sure if I like him.
Do you not know?
I don't know.
You're on the fence with him?
Yeah, I'm on the fence. I don't know whether I'm 100% on board with him, but yeah, I think it's hard in the UK to scale a business aggressively. 100%. Anyway, so British Business Fact of the Week. Alan Sugar, Lord Alan Sugar,
Yeah.
he's a lord now, founder of Amstrad, says one of his biggest secrets to success was firing bad hires ruthlessly, sometimes within a week, to protect team morale and momentum.
Yeah.
Now, I could not agree more with
Yeah.
that, because when you get a bad egg into a reasonably okay or team, that bad egg just drags everyone down.
Yeah. Yeah. That
like-
is definitely a business fact, that. And anyone that comes in that pulls the morale and the productivity down, it's just spreads. It's cancerous, isn't it?
Yeah, and he's famous for being ruthless.
Yeah.
The whole apprentice firing things. I say I don't really like him. I just, there's something about him I don't like. I don't like his personality, but I respect him 100%. You don't have to like people to respect them.
No, that's true.
Which is the same with leadership. You don't need to be loved to be respected. Right? It is that. So, keeping the wrong person drains money, energy, and culture faster than almost anything else. And fast decisions save the whole team. That's the kind of the analysis of it. And I'd agree with that. It's very important.
Yeah.
Very important. So, first question was, have you ever fired someone too late and regret it? We've kind of covered that already. Have you ever fired someone too fast? Do you think you've made knee-jerk decisions because you've been emotionally charged, or have you ever? I don't really view you as a bit of a tyrant.
No, this is what I'm going to say. I think we're guilty of the opposite. We've never fired someone fast, going, "Oh, just get rid of them. We don't, they're not right for us, or they've done this and this wrong. Get rid of them." We've always been, give them a second chance, or give them a third chance, or to replace them, it'd be a ball ache. You know what I mean? We'd have to basically fire this person and then recruit again. And we're busy. Let's just make do. And I am sure there are many small businesses in that loop.
Well, that's like walking past problems, isn't it?
Yeah, correct. Yeah.
So it's like you've got standards, but you go in.
Yeah.
I'll deal with that another day.
Yeah.
It's hard to.
Yeah.
When you're busy. Yeah.
How about yourself? Have you got any examples of where you may have fired someone too quickly?
100%. We've been reactionary. I think a lot of the time it's mainly like warehouse operatives and people that. I think the problem in that job role is we pay above minimum wage, but even though you're just above minimum wage or whatever, you're still the type of people in that job. But don't get me wrong, there's gems that drift into that role and do a great job, but then they're often of a young age and they've got career plans and ambitions.
Yeah.
And it's great. I like the fact that we're able to offer a job to someone and help them be a stepping stone. But it's disruptive to your operation. Then equally, the people that we've had people coming in that role, and just the caliber and quality of them in terms of like their work ethic and all the rest of it's just not there.
Yeah.
So you've got to be quick. But there's definitely scenarios where you're stressed, you're under pressure, and you're like, right, you make a decision in your head, you're like, that person's getting taken off the road tonight. I've made mistakes of it 100% where we've probably been a bit too harsh, but
You learn from that.
you learn just like you do the other way. Like keeping people too long, we've probably, and I've mishandled situations and all the rest of it. But that's how you learn.
That's how you learn, and it's also probably more harmful to keep someone on longer than you should versus getting rid of someone and then regretting it.
I would agree with that. Yeah. Another big slurp of coffee there.
Yeah, get it down.
When I go to drink, can you say something so it doesn't...
No, I like to intensify
well,
the
it's like, right, we're going to...
Nescafe sliding down. Yeah, there we go. Yeah.
Nescafe, who do you think I am? This is bean to cup, Tom. Come on.
Oh, is it right?
Yeah.
Obviously.
I ain't no peasant. Oh, dear. That is definitely a luxury that I've got used to.
Yeah, lovely coffees.
I like good coffee, whereas like... Go back a few years, it was Nescafe, and it was like, right, I'm having 5 spoons today.
Yeah.
A hard day.
Just amp you up.
Yeah, exactly. Funny. So, main discussion points for today. This it's such a great topic, this, because it's like, I think it's one of the biggest things is that business owners shy away from.
Yeah.
Like you go, I can't see that problem.
Yeah. I didn't see that, and I'm not going to deal with it. Yeah.
Or you're just constantly giving people chances. But yeah, I mean, it's good to give people chances, I suppose. Why do people ignore red flags when hiring? So I think there's a thing where I've done it a few times where you'll be interviewing someone, you'll go through a process, but you've got this burning desire and need to fill a role quickly.
Yeah.
So you go, yeah, no, I think we'll go for it. And there's like this red flag where they're slagging off their previous employer.
Yeah.
And it's like, and you're going, yeah, okay, yeah, no, that makes sense. You don't question it or you don't get the references.
Yeah.
Why? I mean, for me, time is probably a main motivator. But what other reasons do you think business owners turn a blind eye when it's clearly there's bit like red flags in there, or you maybe don't notice them? I don't know.
Yeah, I think ultimately, time is one. The desire to I don't want to say if it's a warehouse role. I need to get out of the warehouse. I'm just going to hire the first person, or some of the few people that come in first, get them in the warehouse.
Yeah, then have they got 2 hands and 2 feet?
Yeah. Chuck them in there. Then it's not your problem. Warehouse manager, you deal with that now. And then the feedback will be that they're no good.
Do you hire your warehouse operatives then and not warehouse manager?
Yeah. So we basically hire. Me and James hire.
It is important, I think, having control over I think because how many employees have you got now in the UK?
14.
14, yeah. So we fluctuate like you do. So I think we've probably got about 18 or 19 UK full time, and then probably flex up another 5 or 10 in peak.
Yeah,
and then we've got offshore. But like you want to control the quality of people coming into the business.
Yeah.
So hiring, in a way, I've heard quite successful entrepreneurs say that like they would still be involved in hiring at a very low level, even when the business is doing X. But actually, to counteract that, it's like if that person's got to manage that person, you almost want them to be responsible for it. Mm-hmm. It's difficult because you want good people coming in.
Yeah, ultimately you do want the right people coming in.
But you're good at hiring, or I'm good at hiring because we've hired poorly.
Yeah, you've got the scars.
So for your manager, it goes back to last week's episode about kind of micromanaging and what have you. You need to give your ops manager or warehouse manager enough rope to kind of make a mistake. Mm-hmm. Do you know what I mean? Like it's hard.
Yeah, it is difficult to get the right people to come in.
And you can have... I remember, I've said this to Sarah and Robert before, there was a particular person, I won't say her name, but she joined the business a few years ago, and I said to Sarah quite recently, actually, I said, that was the best interview I've ever done. And that person was a fucking nightmare.
Just shows you some people can interview really well.
She interviewed fantastically. She was great. I was like, I thought... my brain after the interview, I was like, oh my God, this person, I could get them doing this, they've got this experience, I'll be able to, they might be able to come in, do the current job, and I'll be able to fast track them up the chain. Like, this person could do that. Like brains, they arrived, they were a fucking nightmare.
And you're like, what have we done?
And there was no red, I look back on it, it was like, did I ignore the red flags? Maybe
not though. Maybe they were that good. They do that many interviews that they're that well trained and honed.
Looking at their CV now, they do job hop.
Yeah, I don't like that.
They're used to now. I mean, I wouldn't hire that person again, obviously. But looking back, like there was a bit of evidence of that. But they were just very good at having really good reasons to why it didn't work out at these places. And you can go, I understand that makes sense.
Yeah, it'll always be the other company's fault. Oh, they did this. Oh, they did it that way. Didn't like it. They were useless. They didn't know what they're doing. Yeah, I was.
What's it called? Catfished.
Right. Yeah.
I thought I was getting an absolute fantastic person, and it didn't pan out. It wasn't. Yeah, didn't go to plan. But anyway, it's interesting. The real cost of keeping the wrong person. We touched on this slightly, but so how does one bad apple drain the team? Why does having a negative or not the right person in a team or a role drag the team down? Why does that happen?
I think it falls back to standards. And I think when you introduce someone that is below
par,
of what you expect and what the wider team expect as well. Like they've all been working at a tempo, and then someone comes in, moaning, coming in late, leaving early, taking longer breaks, not being as efficient. the rest of the team will ultimately resent that. They'll see that and think, especially if it's not getting pulled up by the manager or by the owners saying, excuse me, this is not,
And then some people know how to play the system.
Yeah.
Like, they'll go and have a lunch break.
Yeah.
And then they'll come back from lunch break and then they'll go and have a 20-minute toilet break.
Yeah.
Clocked in.
Yeah.
And it pisses off all the other staff.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's just...
Yeah. And it's human
difficult.
nature. I think those that are working hard see that and then they go, well...
Why should I go above and beyond?
Why should I go? If that's acceptable now, okay, then I'll take. They won't probably go to that level, but they'll drop their standards.
This last 12 months, I've made a real effort to, whenever warehouse operatives have been hired, I've said to Danny, and I always make a point, and it's maybe a bit harsh, but I always go and say hello to the new starter and say, we really recognise hard-working people here.
Yeah.
I said, you're in a good ship. I will work as hard. I expect people to work as hard as I work.
Yeah.
Because we're a team and we're only as strong as our weakest link. I say this to new people.
Yeah, good.
And I say, we look after people in this business.
Yeah.
And we make sure we're all in it together.
Yeah.
And it's basically a passive-aggressive threat.
Yeah. Well, you're setting the tone.
Yeah,
to that individual.
It's within the warehouse, I say that, because ultimately, and I say it to Danny, John, Lucas, the guys that are bringing people in, and I say, I want you to communicate that because I want them to know that we will not tolerate average.
Yeah.
It's like a bit of a thing for us. It's like, we're not average.
Yeah.
We're above average. And everyone in the business, if you're still here after 6 weeks, it's because you're good at your job.
Yeah.
And that's something that it's taken me time to kind of implement that mentality into the business.
Yeah.
But
well, that's a good onboarding step, though, isn't it? You're setting the tone.
It's a bit harsh, but it's like we protect people. It's the reason we do it. There's a 6-month probationary period. It's to protect the business and the people within it.
Yeah.
I do this to protect the people, so that we're all on a strong ship. Because you don't want to be at sea and the sea is rough and you're having to carry and cater for people on there.
Yeah, it's not going to happen, is it?
Like I said before, HMRC, there's no incentive to carry dead weight.
No.
They don't give you a discount on your corporation tax bill because you've employed this person that's...
Yeah.
There's no incentive.
No, I like it.
They're literally, they're de-incentivizing businesses to take risk.
Yeah, they are. Yeah.
Oh, I tagged Rachel Reeves in a story on Instagram.
Yeah.
And then I get to send her one message. So I sent
what was your chosen message to send?
Hey, Rachel, would you like to come on my business podcast? Question mark.
Yeah.
Invitation sent. You can send more messages after your invitation has been accepted.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe one day.
We're waiting. Yeah.
I mean...
Imagine that.
They are de-incentivizing businesses from hiring. 100%. Why would you take the risk if you've got to pay all this national insurance? I mean, they're about to bring this employment bill in or whatever it is soon. I don't know when. To be honest with you, I try to stay away from the normal news because it's so toxic. Like the whole Ukraine war thing, the Israel-Palestine like genocide that's going on there and conflict and all the rest of it. And it's all terrible.
Yeah.
Like the world is such a horrible place. So I try not to pay too much attention to it because I get angry.
Yeah.
I get frustrated. But when it comes to business and politics, they're so interwoven. You have to pay attention to what... I mean, the latest round... I'm going on a rant now.
Go on, I like it. Give it me.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
So this is being filmed on the 18th of June. This episode, it'll probably be going live in end of July, start of August. We'll be getting closer to the budget in October, and the press will be starting to rile up for that. But did you see all the announcements she made for the what is it, the summer? What is it called? They do this thing where they announce a load of like spending.
Oh right,
So
yeah.
last week she's announced that, or her and Starmer have announced they're going to spend X amount percentage on defence.
Yes.
They're going to spend X billion pounds more on the NHS. They're going to spend more here, 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 spend more here. And it's like, how are we going to pay for it?
Yeah, well, guess. I've one guess.
That's the only thing. As soon as I listened to the headline, read the headline points, I was like, how are we going to pay for it?
Yeah.
So if you were a business, right, and you were spending more money than you had coming in, you are insolvent.
Yeah.
The government is insolvent. The public services in this country, we're
Yeah.
like, there's no money in the bank.
No.
We borrow money to pay for this stuff.
Yeah.
And it's acceptable. And they've done a lot of the stuff that they're doing now is to win voters, just like the Conservatives have in the past and all the rest of it. And I'm just like, why are we not looking at the books and going, right, well, we can't afford to do this? It's honestly, it's getting to the point where I'm just like, I don't know what to say or think about it, because I'm just like, they're going to get round to October and it's going to be more tax.
It will be
and
more tax.
They're going to be taxing people as well as businesses now.
Yeah,
That's
they're going to have to.
That's the next
They're going to
move.
have to.
And I'm a big believer in there should be a small state. We need to fund the NHS. We need to fund the education system, even though the education system did nothing for me. It doesn't help people like me.
Yeah.
We need to spend money on those things and create opportunities for people. But then you look at like the inequality in pension schemes between the public and private sector.
Night and day, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, if you're in the civil service, you're getting 33% pension contributions.
Yeah. Crazy.
And then you're in your own business.
Yeah.
Can I pay them to a pension this year? Oh,
yeah.
no, you can't, because you've got to pay HMRC so they can pay the public sector pension contributions. And then it's the disparity between the pension contributions in the civil service versus the pension contributions in the police or the pension contributions in the NHS. It's different.
Yeah.
Why is it not standardised across all of the public sector? It should be.
It should be. It's a good question.
And it should be comparable to the private sector. But then they go, oh, well, wages are lower in the public sector than they are in the private sector. Well, it's a free world. You can work wherever you want.
Yeah.
So if you think you can go and earn better elsewhere, go and get a job in the private sector.
Yeah.
I'm pissed off. Not happy
It's
about
true, though. I mean, there's many frustration. I can feel the frustration. And, same for me as well. Like, I'm like, oh, God.
Why should all of these small independent businesses pay for it all?
Yeah.
Why should we pay for these ridiculous pension contributions that the civil service get? Mm-hmm. It's just wrong.
Yeah, it is wrong. We shouldn't be doing it, should we?
I was hoping you disagree with me. So
No, I agree with you. I agree with you. We shouldn't be doing it. And
if you disagree, comment.
Yeah. And let us know why. Yeah.
Yeah.
We're seeing it from our side of the fence, where you're a business owner, I'm a business owner.
There must be an alternative perspective to it. Why should the public sector have enhancements like that then the private sector and the individual has to pay for?
Yeah.
It's morally wrong.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't agree with it. I think it should be an even. I think pension contributions, like, if you want to personally contribute more to your pension, you should.
Yeah.
But it shouldn't be. I don't think it should be like that. Mm-hmm. The state shouldn't be funding ridiculous pension schemes that are like way above the standard for everyone else in society.
Yeah. That is the difference. Like I said, way above the standard.
It's a disparity. And if those individuals, it should be. I just think it's wrong. And you should be incentivising people to put away money personally into their pensions.
Yeah.
And there's talk of them getting rid of that as well. Like there's talk of them taxing pension pots. Yeah. So if you've been an individual, and it's hypothetical at the moment, but if you've been an individual that's been sensible or worked really hard, so you've created the ability for you to be sensible. Because I get it, some people, it's hard out there. It's tough. But if you've been sensible and put money away into your pension as a business owner, as a personal individual, or maybe you've gone in the private sector to a company where they're making really good pension contributions, why should the government then tax that?
Yeah. Because they need to spend it. That's why.
Well, because they're spending money on stuff they shouldn't be spending money on.
Yeah. We need some form of like there was or is in America.
The system needs. We need to put the UK government in a blender, blend it up, and then just throw it in the bin, because it's like, honestly, the system is broken.
And then start again. Yeah.
Factory reset. I don't. And do you know what? Like, I think you need to get some serious problem solvers into government to fix it. And there needs to be like you've got the Doge thing in the US, which, I like Elon Musk, but then sometimes I find him like, he's just a bit of a dick. And Trump is a knobhead as well. But it's like, we do need to do something about the waste in government in this country.
Yeah. Because there'll be an excessive amount, I'm sure.
It's all the time.
Yeah.
Like, when Tilly was poorly, I was at Alder Hay Children's Hospital, and the nurse was telling me, well, they put all these fancy doors on.
Yeah.
So that some of the doors basically they automatically open for you. Some of the doors don't open because they basically ran out of money for it. So the doors some doors you have to manually open. So they're bringing like beds through.
Yeah.
And like automatic doors in a hospital, it makes logical sense from an efficiency perspective. But then they spent X million pounds on a robotic bin system.
Right.
That then after it being installed didn't work.
Yeah. And they went, oh God, oh well.
And the contract that the NHS had signed with this private company was robust because the private company had documented it, and then someone in the NHS signed it, so they didn't get any money back.
Yeah, crazy. That
is the problem.
Yeah, it's the wastage.
It's wasting money on stupid things, and it's not their money.
Yeah.
That is the problem. And what should be happening is the money should be spent on frontline services like sorting GP practices out.
Yeah.
So that these A&E departments aren't on their knees all the time because there's people in there that shouldn't be in there.
Yeah.
That could have been treated at the GPs, but you can't get a GP appointment.
No. Not like you used to be able to years ago.
Broken Britain.
Yeah, broken Britain.
Anyway, don't know how we got on that rant, but I feel slightly better. What were we talking about? We're talking about hiring slow and firing fast. That's another
topic for another day.
Yeah. Oh, God. But yeah, I mean, we've got all the risk of hiring people.
Yes.
We've got all the risk, so you've got to really take your time with the decision.
Yeah.
But then, because of the pace of your business, you sometimes need to hire people quickly.
Because sometimes you don't have the time.
So it's a great concept, hiring slowly and firing fast, but sometimes you have to hire fast.
Yeah.
So the way I like to think of it now, in certain roles where we've got to hire quickly, we hire multiple people.
Yeah, okay.
So if we need one warehouse assistant, we hire two.
Yeah.
Because the probability is that one of them ain't going to be good enough.
Yeah, that's...
And it's horrible, but that's the situation we're in.
Yeah.
Because some people just don't want to work.
No, they don't.
Yeah.
They'll be job hopping and last a few months or something at one employer onto the next.
I do get it because it's hard out there.
Yeah.
Like the cost of living, like it's to own your own home in this country now. It's a nightmare. Like to try and get money together for a deposit. It's tough.
You're making me depressed here, Matt.
Yeah, I'm fucking pissed off, mate. I'm not happy.
No, it's true. This is the frustrations of a business owner, isn't it? At the end of the day, like,
yeah, because you
go through it, employing 28, 30 people, yeah, and dealing with all the shit that goes along with it.
Yeah, well, we're hiring more and more people offshore now.
Yeah,
it's more cost effective. It's lower risk. They're harder working.
Yeah.
They want to work for you.
Yeah.
So our mindset is we hire great people in the UK that want to work.
Yeah. Pay them well.
Look after them, treat them nicely. Like we had a great barbecue at the farm over the weekend. It was lovely. And I just sat there for a moment, partway through, and I was just like watching everyone. I was just like, this is lovely.
Yeah.
And I was like, it's such a shame in a way. This is British Business Podcast.
Yeah.
I'm patriotic. It's a shame we're having to offshore and hire people in India and the Philippines.
Yeah.
But it's because the government make it so difficult for you to hire people, so expensive. Mm-hmm. You kind of have no choice to be profitable. You've got to do those things.
Yeah.
It's sad. It really is. Anyway, building a team you don't have to babysit. What traits do you look for that actually predict good culture? What do you think is like I think humility is really important in people. Mm-hmm. Like people that have a good like grounding.
Yes. Yeah.
And I was listening to something, I think it was a podcast, just consuming content all the time, but about gratitude.
Okay, yeah.
I think having a kind, hard-working workforce is a good foundational step. Mm-hmm. But sometimes kind people don't necessarily have the hunger and drive, or they're not as. Sometimes you need a bit of aggression.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's like a recipe, I suppose.
You got to find the right people.
What positive traits do you try and find in people?
When
like
we're hiring.
If you were interviewing me now, like, with that rant that I've just done, you'd be like, get this fucking guy away from
No, I could see the frustration in it. So,
but I mean, like when you're hiring someone, what are the positive traits you're looking for?
So when we're hiring and doing interviews, it's looking for someone that can hold a conversation. In any aspect about the job, personally as well. Like sometimes we talk about the start of the business. It's a family-run business, and just how do they answer the questions and what feedback are they giving you, and are they asking questions as well?
Yeah.
Is there intrigue and interest in? All right, so you and your brother are part of this great family-run business. Like, you want them to have some level of intrigue.
Yeah. Be interested.
Yeah, the interest, because or is it just another job that they just want to keep for 6 months before they go somewhere or they move on to another? They don't really want to work here, but they're desperate for a job, so it will do.
Yeah,
you know, and you can get that vibe, I think, with interviewing.
Yeah, I mean, but going back to that interview that I did where it was a frigging nightmare.
Yeah.
Well, they were amazing, and then they were a nightmare afterwards. It is hard.
Yeah.
I think I look for people that if someone's an introvert and they're not confident, that's fine as well.
Yeah.
That's actually might be a bonus for certain job roles. Like if they're not a confident, if they're not a confident interview, that's okay.
Yeah.
But you're looking for a bit of humility, team player, evidence of that, historically working well in teams.
Yeah.
But do you interview more than once?
Yeah. So basically the vetting process is generally review the CV. James does a lot of the onboarding, to be fair. He'll put a phone call into them, have a quick chat over the phone for 5 minutes, just see what vibe he gets over the phone, invites them in for a face-to-face, do a face-to-face. That's when really you get to see, let's say, the whites of their eyes, and you understand the individual. Did they turn up on time? We've had stuff where, they just don't turn up, or they turn up, hours late. What went wrong? Oh, sorry, overslept. Like, that's not acceptable. Well, that's not going to work, is it?
Oh, God.
No, it happens. It happens. Yeah, and then we do that, and then they'll meet the team. If we think, right, they're one of the few that we're looking to hire, they'll then go and meet the team, meet the warehouse manager, meet the rest of the colleagues they're working with in the warehouse, and just see how they interact like that, basically.
We do a lot less for the warehouse now. We get people in for a trial shift.
Yes.
And it's an interview at the same time.
Yeah.
And then we just get them started.
Yeah, good.
And then if they're not good enough, we get rid of them.
Yeah.
Which is ruthless, but...
Well, you've done it long enough, you know. Yeah.
It's ruthless and it's not very nice, but actually, you're being loyal to your existing staff.
Yeah.
That's the thing I would focus in on, is like you're looking after your core team, and getting rid of those people quickly that are not performing is just so important.
Yeah.
So it's time.
Oh, for the question.
Yeah, ChatGPT question we didn't want to answer.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not sure we can even fully answer this, but who was the worst hire you ever made, and did they know it? I know who it is. For me, I'm sure if I asked Robert and Sarah, they'd probably say similar. But there was this particular person who was in academia.
Okay, yeah.
And they were just very demanding.
Oh, God, right.
They came to us during the pandemic, so they were out of work, and
just did not work. Yeah.
And that is enough said.
Yeah.
So there's. But did they know it? No, they didn't.
No, I think that's good. I think similar scenario to us, we've had people there, and there was always a problem with this, always a problem with that, and
creating friction.
And really, they've moved on to a different role, to another company in a different role, and same things happened again within that, employer move. But there's a common denominator, isn't there?
Yeah. Yeah.
That
person that I said interviewed phenomenally well, they popped up on my LinkedIn the other day, actually, for some reason. I tapped the profile, and it was like, there's us, then there's someone else, then there's someone else, then there's someone else. So she's had 3 jobs or 4 jobs since they left us, and it's like...
Yeah. And it'll always be someone else's fault as well. The employer's fault. That's inevitable.
Yeah, it's hard, isn't it? So, key takeaways for listeners. I mean, there's the classic one of like hire, slow, fire, quickly, which is the whole thing of this. But I disagree with that. It depends on the circumstances. For key strategic roles, you need to hire slowly and fire quickly.
Yeah.
For my mindset, for roles that are maybe perhaps lower end, that give people opportunities.
Yeah.
Some people don't perform well at at interview. Some people, there might be something that sets you off. I think you should give people opportunities. But, oh dear, the phone's gone. We're just going to have to get that phone, it's fine. I can't not have ChatGPT helping me through this process.
Yeah, guiding us through.
But you need to, I think, give people the opportunity, but then you need to be at the point where you need to be able to go have the honest conversation and say, listen, I'm really sorry this isn't working. We have to terminate your probationary period. That's the best advice I can give.
Yeah.
But you need to get the knowledge and experience to be able to be comfortably doing that.
Yeah. Which you learn through experience. And you made a good point earlier about having a longer probationary period, 6 months, for example.
Yeah.
Because you will know by the 6 month mark if that is going to be.
You should know by 6 weeks.
Yeah.
But what can happen sometimes is people are in that honeymoon period.
Yeah. You sleepwalk into it.
Well, they are working hard, and then all of a sudden they start sleepwalking into work.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So, yeah, fire fast means protect the good people by acting quickly when it's wrong. So we talked about that. And then great teams thrive when they know you have their back.
Yeah.
So if someone comes in and they're not pulling the weight, you've got to cut that out like you would cut cancer out.
Yeah, before it spreads.
Yeah, it's tough. So that was a good episode, apart from my little angry rant in the middle. I feel better, though.
We should do an episode on that.
What, about my ranting?
No, just about, yeah. What are your the frustrations of the week?
Yeah.
Let's let it all go. You'll feel better.
You don't want to hear all of them. Anyway, we'll leave it there, guys. Thanks for listening.
Thank you.